to be completely honest, I was running from my life at that time. I wasn't able to handle the reality of my life. And as an actor, you have this wonderful thing where you can go and get lost in somebody else's life.
Nicole Kidman finally revealed how Scientology ended her marriage. There is an interview from 2018 where Nicole Kidman was asked about her children, Isabella and Connor, the ones she adopted with Tom Cruise, the ones she raised for over a decade. And she said those words with the kind of composure that only comes from years of practice. But underneath that composure is a mother who has not been called mom in years. A mother whose son and daughter were slowly, deliberately pulled away from her by the same force that took her husband. And through all of it, there was one thing Nicole refused to give up: her family. She would lose the marriage, the house, the life she built, but she would not stop fighting for her children. Because what Scientology did to Nicole Kidman was not just about faith. It was control, surveillance, and a campaign to turn the man she loved into someone she could no longer reach. This is not a story about religion. This is a story about a mother who lost her husband first and then lost her children to the same force that took him. When Nicole Kidman met Tom Cruise, she was 22 years old, a rising star out of Australia. He was 27 and already one of the biggest actors on the planet. They met on the set of Days of Thunder in 1989, and by the time filming wrapped, they were inseparable. He proposed within months. They married on Christmas Eve, 1990, in a ceremony so private that almost no photographs exist. The guest list was a carefully guarded secret, and for a decade, they were Hollywood royalty. They adopted 2 children together: Isabella, born in 1992, Connor, born in 1995. They raised them in sprawling estates in Colorado and Los Angeles. They worked together on multiple films. They posed for magazine covers. They walked red carpets hand in hand. And Nicole loved him. She has said so many times, "I was young, I was completely swept up in it, and I believed we would be together forever." From the outside, they were the couple everyone wanted to be. Smart, talented, beautiful, successful. 2 massive stars who somehow made it work. But from the inside, something was already shifting. Something that Nicole did not fully understand until it was too late. The cracks began during the filming of Eyes Wide Shut, Stanley Kubrick's final film, a dark, psychological exploration of marriage, jealousy, and obsession. Tom and Nicole played a married couple on the verge of collapse. They spent 2 years filming in London, longer than any other film either of them had ever made. And according to former Scientology officials, that is exactly when the church started to panic. Tom Cruise had been a Scientologist since 1986. He was recruited by his first wife, Mimi Rogers, and by the time he married Nicole, he was one of the most famous Scientologists in the world. The church did not just value him, they needed him. But during those 2 years in London, Tom drifted. He was not attending courses, he was not in regular contact with church leadership. He was spending every day on set with Nicole and Stanley Kubrick, and the Church of Scientology did not like that one bit. Former executive Mark Rathbun later said that David Miscavige, the leader of Scientology, blamed Nicole personally. He called her a negative influence. He viewed her as someone pulling Tom away from the faith. But Rathbun went further. He said that Miscavige ordered surveillance on Nicole, that her phone was tapped, that private investigators were following her, that conversations she believed were private were being recorded and sent directly to church leadership. The church has denied these allegations, but what is undeniable is what happened next. In February 2001, Tom Cruise filed for divorce. Nicole later told Vanity Fair that she did not see it coming. "I was totally shocked. I was totally in love. I wanted to be with him." She was pregnant at the time, and shortly after the divorce was announced, she suffered a miscarriage. Try to understand what that moment must have felt like. You are married to someone you love. You are carrying a child. And then without warning, all of it is gone. Tom cited irreconcilable differences. He offered no detailed public explanation, but those who watched from the inside have a very different story. According to multiple former Scientologists, the church had been working to separate them for years. They saw Nicole as a problem, a liability, a barrier between their most valuable celebrity and his commitment to the faith. And when Tom returned to Scientology after the divorce, he returned harder than ever. Within months, he was receiving the church's highest honors. He was standing on stage with David Miscavige. He was being celebrated as a hero of the faith. Meanwhile, Nicole was reportedly labeled a suppressive person. In Scientology, that is not just a title. It is a sentence. If someone is declared an SP, members are forbidden from having contact with them. It does not matter if that person is a former spouse. It does not matter if that person is a mother. And that brings us to the most devastating part of this entire story. Isabella and Connor were 9 and 6 years old when their parents divorced. They were raised primarily by Tom after the split, and according to former church members, they were systematically turned against their mother. Mark Rathbun has said that he personally witnessed efforts to convince the children that Nicole was dangerous, that she was a suppressive person, that maintaining a close relationship with her would damage their own spiritual progress. Nicole has spoken carefully about this, but what she has revealed is heartbreaking enough. In an interview, she admitted that her children no longer called her mom. "They call me Nicole," she said, "which I hate and tell them off for it. You raise 2 children from infancy. You are there for their first words, their first steps, their birthdays and holidays, and ordinary Tuesday evenings. And then you are not their mother anymore. You are just Nicole." She has spent the past 2 decades trying to maintain a relationship with them. But every step forward has been complicated by the faith they chose, or perhaps the faith that was chosen for them. Connor became a Scientologist in his own right. He credits the church with helping him through difficult times. He rarely speaks about his mother publicly. Isabella married a fellow Scientologist in 2015. Tom attended the wedding. Nicole was reportedly not invited. And every time Nicole has been asked about her children's faith, she has said the same thing. "I respect their choices. I love them unconditionally." But you can hear the pain underneath those words. You can feel what she is not saying, that she did not lose her children to a custody agreement, she lost them to something she could not fight in any courtroom. And that is what the estrangement actually looked like from the inside. Years of not sleeping through the night, reaching for the phone to call Isabella, then putting it back down, dialing Connor's number and hanging up before it rang. Coming home from a film premiere or a magazine shoot and falling apart behind closed doors, where the cameras could not see her. That is not a breakup, that is an amputation. Nicole carried it quietly. She did not give interviews about the pain, she did not lash out. She held on to the belief that patience would bring them back, that if she stayed steady, stayed loving, stayed available, her children would eventually find their way home. But years passed, and the phone did not ring. She was an Academy Award winner, one of the most famous women in the world, and she could not get her own children to call her mom. The distance was not physical, it was engineered. And that made it worse than any ocean or time zone because there was no flight she could book, no door she could knock on, no argument she could win that would undo what the church had built between them. The transformation of Tom Cruise is something Nicole has hinted at but has not fully explained. But others have. Former Scientology members describe the Tom Cruise of the late 80s and early 90s as charming, curious, and genuinely devoted to his family. He was a man who fell in love hard and wanted to build a life with the woman he married. But the Tom Cruise who emerged after the divorce was different, more guarded, more embedded in the church, more willing to cut off anyone who did not align with his beliefs. In 2005, he jumped on Oprah's couch declaring his love for Katie Holmes. In 2006, they married in an elaborate ceremony in Italy. And in 2012, that marriage collapsed too. Katie filed for divorce suddenly and quietly, reportedly to protect their daughter Suri from being raised in the church. The pattern was becoming impossible to ignore. Every woman who got close to Tom eventually found herself in conflict with Scientology. And Scientology always won. Nicole watched all of this from a distance. She did not criticize Tom publicly. She did not attack the church directly. But in private, sources say she grieved for the man she once knew. Because the Tom who showed up at 5 in the morning with romantic gestures, the Tom who proposed within months of meeting her, the Tom she believed she would spend her life with, that man had disappeared. What remained was someone so completely absorbed in his faith that there was no room left for the people who loved him. But what Nicole did next surprised everyone who knew her. After the divorce, she went quiet. She did not give tell-all interviews. She did not write a memoir about what really happened. She did not wage a public war against the church or against her ex-husband. Instead, she worked. She threw herself into her career with a ferocity that surprised everyone. In 2002, she won the Academy Award for Best Actress for The Hours. In the years that followed, she took on role after role, building a body of work that would eventually earn her an AFI Life Achievement Award. And in 2005, she met Keith Urban. He was a country music star, Australian like her, charming and romantic in a way that reminded some people of the young Tom Cruise. They fell in love fast, got engaged within months, married in Sydney in June 2006. But just 4 months into the marriage, Keith checked into rehab for alcohol addiction. Nicole stayed, she supported him through recovery, she stood by him when many people would have walked away. And when he emerged on the other side, he credited her with saving his life. "I was born into her," Keith said later. "For the first time in my life, I could shake off the shackles of addiction." They had 2 daughters together, Sunday Rose, born in 2008, Faith Margaret, born in 2010, and Nicole finally had the family she had always wanted, one that was not controlled by anyone else, one where she was fully and completely the mother. She raised those girls in Nashville and Sydney, far from Hollywood and even further from the world of Scientology. She gave them the childhood she had not been able to give Isabella and Connor, the one that was taken from her. But here is the thing about Nicole Kidman. She has never stopped hoping, even after everything, even after the phone calls that went unanswered, even after the wedding invitation that did not come, even after years of polite distance and carefully worded statements about respecting their choices. She still loves Isabella and Connor. She still wants them in her life, and sources close to her say she has not given up on the possibility of reconciliation. In September 2024, Nicole's mother Janelle passed away. It was a devastating loss. Nicole had been incredibly close to her mother, and Janelle had shared the pain of being estranged from her grandchildren. But something shifted after the funeral. According to reports, Isabella and Connor reached out, not a full reconciliation, not a return to the way things were, but a message, a sign that the door might not be completely closed. Nicole has not confirmed the details publicly. She keeps those things close, but those who know her say she cried when she received their message. That after 23 years, it was the first real sign that her children still thought of her as more than just Nicole. Nicole Kidman is 58 years old now. She is one of the most acclaimed actresses of her generation. She has won every major award. She has worked with every major director. She has built a career that would break anyone else down to nothing after what she endured. But if you ask the people closest to her what she thinks about late at night, it is not the Oscars. It is not the Golden Globes. It is not the magazine covers or the film premieres. It is Isabella and Connor. It is the question of whether she could have done something differently, whether she missed warning signs, whether there was a moment when she could have fought harder, pushed back more, refused to let her family be torn apart. She has never blamed Tom publicly. She has never said the word Scientology with anger in her voice. She has handled all of it with a grace that would break anyone else. But grace does not mean the pain is gone. Grace does not mean she does not think about the children she raised, the children she loved, the children who now belong to a world she cannot enter. 11 years of marriage, 2 children adopted together, a love that she believed was real, and all of it ended with a divorce filing she never saw coming and a church that decided she was too dangerous to keep around. Nicole Kidman did not just lose a husband. She lost an entire family to a force that operates outside of logic, outside of love, outside of anything a mother can fight against. And every time she says, "I love them unconditionally," what she really means is this: I am still here. I have always been here. And I am waiting for them to come home. What do you think? Did Nicole handle this the right way? Or should she have fought harder against Scientology? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this story hit you, subscribe to the channel. We have another story coming that you will not want to miss.